The NFLPA report card has come out, and guess what? It is not a good look for the Arizona Cardinals, but the Cardinals did respond, and we're going to be diving into exactly what they said. And on top of that, there is another potential edge rusher that might hit the trade market. Let's get you caught up with everything that you need to know about the Arizona Cardinals. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. But ladies and gentlemen, the talk of the town right now for all Arizona Cardinal fans right now, we're seeing an abundance of a lot of frustration coming towards this Arizona Cardinals organization. And to me, it's not really something new, right? This is definitely something that we've been struggling for years and years and years. And I'm kind of glad that the Cardinal fan base is now starting to kind of say things like, I had enough. Michael Bidwell needs to sell this team. Now, is he going to sell it? That is another topic for a different day. But as of right now, if you guys do not know, the report card came out for the NFLPA, and the Cardinals are ranked dead last in terms of the teams that just scored the worst in all these NFLPA grades. I think we're listed number 32 out of 32 teams. It's terrible, man. It really is. Look at these grades. It's absolutely horrible. So treatment of families, D+, food/dining, D-, nutrition, dietitian, B. All right, that's pretty nice. Locker room, F-. Like, that's insane. It's absolutely insane. Training room, D-. Training staff, C. Weight room, F. Wait, I think we're getting actually a live look of the Arizona Cardinals weight room right now, and my goodness, that's what it looks like. Oh, man. How did they get an F from this? That's absolutely nuts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just kidding. Obviously, this is a tweet that I posted out here. A live look at the Arizona Cardinals weight room. This is what it makes me feel like. Like, how do you get an F from a weight room? Like what does this thing look like? Like, it's crazy. Strength coaches, C+, and then we got team travel, B. Makes sense. He just got himself a new jet, and seems like he's allocated his money for specific things that he wants and not towards the team, but I digress. Head coach, A. Love to see that. Jonathan Gannon, I still do like him as a head coach. I think good things from him moving forward, so excited to see what he's going to do. And then you got the ownership at D-. I'm surprised that ownership's not listed as a F-. I'm going to be real here. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, the Arizona Cardinals, I believe, went from 27 last year back to 32, which is like, you're going backwards. You're absolutely going backwards here, ladies and gentlemen. And it's definitely not something you want to see as an Arizona Cardinal fan. But at the end of the day, like, is this anything shocking? Is this shocking to you? Not to me. This is definitely something that I've been used to as a Cardinal fan. I'm just trying to, trying to make peace with what we already kind of know. Now, the Arizona Cardinals organization did respond to, obviously, the report card coming out, and it's a big deal. A lot of Cardinal fans, a lot of media outlets out there, coming out here saying things like, hey, this is unacceptable, and I agree. Now, huge shout out here to Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports coming out here with a tweet saying the Arizona Cardinals statement following the 2025 NFLPA report cards. Whoa. Our goal is to provide the best possible environment, facilities, and resources to give our team the greatest opportunity to succeed. We are working hard to achieve that. Last season, we shared with our players the plans for new training facility at the existing Tempe location with the target completion date of 2027. We have hired Rossetti, a leading architecture firm that has worked with a number of NFL teams on their new facilities, and the design process is underway. We'll have continued to explore all other ways, large and small, that we can to get better in every single area of our operation. Well, I mean, that's good to hear. It really is. But, like, how many years does it take to finally now say, okay, well, in 2027, we're going to up our facility? Like, this is the first time I've actually heard about this myself. Like, it took a report card back to back, or maybe even 3 years straight, to say, dang, Bidwell, what are you doing over there, man? Like, what's going on? To kind of give us a little bit of a little something to kind of get back. At the end of the day, Bidwell and his organization's coming out here and saying they want to up the facility. Good for them. I hope it all works out. But, man, this is another embarrassing thing to look at for an Arizona Cardinal fan, to say it makes sense why we're not a winning organization. Because if you look at the locker room, the Cardinals, compared to any other locker room that's listed higher on this list, it's almost not a surprise, right? It's almost not a surprise. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. But let's dive right into something more exciting to talk about here. Let's talk about a new name surfacing about a potential trade option for the Arizona Cardinals. We all know that we are in dire need of a pass rusher. Now, this tweet came out probably about earlier this morning. I want to talk a little bit more about this, right? Now, we ended up getting a tweet here from Adam Schefter way earlier this morning saying the Titans have granted permission to former Pro Bowl linebacker Harold Landry to seek a trade, per sources. Landry started all 17 games last season, finishing with 71 tackles, 9 sacks, 18 pressures, and 4 pass deflections. The 28-year-old Landry has 31.5 sacks in his last 3 seasons, and he has played. And he is due 17.5 base salary this season. So, question out there, right? Should the Arizona Cardinals go after a player like Harold Landry III? Now, honestly, I've been one of those guys that even in this trade deadline, it was a guy that I mentioned, right? Like maybe the Cardinals can go after this guy. Now, I was really, really big on Azeez Ojulari to reunite the Ojulari brothers. Obviously, that didn't happen. The Cardinals ended up going after Baron Browning, which I don't think it was a bad pick, but obviously a rotational piece. If the Cardinals are really serious about upgrading the position to really make a difference in this year's, because like we need pass rush. Like I don't think there's any surprise that the Arizona Cardinals need pass rush, right? Now, multiple different ways that the Cardinals can go about doing this, right? They can either do this via trade, they can do this via free agency, or they can do it, via the draft, right? Or they can do it in all the sense. They could maybe do it in all of them, right? I don't think there's anybody out there that are saying that if the Cardinals address it here, they can't address it there, right? Now, for example, if the Cardinals trade for a Harold Landry, or if they go after a Josh Sweat in free agency, I still want them to address the defensive line, right? Maybe not edge, but maybe going after an interior guy that's a dog in the draft. So the Cardinals need to double down in any sense of the imagination to bring in talented pieces for this defensive line. Now, here's a big question mark out there. Should the Arizona Cardinals go after a Harold Landry? Now, let's talk about this real quick. Harold Landry and Monty Ossenfort have some sort of connection with each other, right? Now, if you guys did not know, Monty Ossenfort, before getting the job here as a general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, spent some time with the Tennessee Titans organization. So it would make sense, right? The connection or the rapport, or I guess connection is the best way to describe it, is there with Monty Ossenfort and maybe the Titans organization to potentially, pull the trigger, right? Now, the organization of the Titans did go through a new regime. So Monty Ossenfort might not be privy to know this new guy, but they still have some sort of ties with the Titans organization. So should Monty call up the Titans organization and say, hey, what would you want for a Harold Landry? Now, here's a big question mark. If you take a look at the contract of Harold Landry, it is kind of up there in terms of pretty pricey, right? It's pretty pricey when it comes down to it. So let's take a look at this. Right now, he signed up to the 2026 season. So you have him on 2025 and 2026 with zero guaranteed salary, a base salary of $17.5 million for both years. But with the bonus, the signing bonus, you're talking about a cap hit of $24 million. So if the Cardinals were to go after a trade and getting a Harold Landry, which right now is 29 years old, right? 250 out of Boston College, was a second round pick, 41st overall to the Titans, right? If the Cardinals were to go this route, say goodbye to the Josh Sweat, right? The thoughts of Josh Sweat. Now, I'm not saying the Cardinals should not go after a Milton Williams, right? Because they can definitely very well do that. Two different positions. And I know the Arizona Cardinals are pretty high on Darius Robinson, potentially staying on the inside as opposed to being used as a Swiss Army knife or kind of along the line. I think they really want to focus him on making sure that he is dynamite in the interior. So going after a Harold Landry with this amount of money and giving up draft capital, we're probably looking along the lines of the Josh Sweat dreams kind of being gone. Now, there's a couple good things about making this trade and couple, I guess, I don't want to say bad things, but there's some things that kind of go against it, right? If you make a trade, you have to give up draft capital. I don't see this trade going for like a day 2 pick, or heck, not even a day 1 pick, or not a day 1, not a day 2 pick. I'm talking about a day 3 pick, right? So we're talking about a 4th rounder, 5th rounder, 6th rounder, or 7th rounder. If the Titans are willing to move off of them, because you got to keep in mind that cap hit most likely will affect a Cardinals cap hit some way or another, right? Whether they agree to terms that they pay half or we pay half, whatever they agree on, that cap hit is going to hurt the Arizona Cardinals one way or another. I am in and I am down for the Arizona Cardinals doing a move like this if it's a day 3 pick. Now, like I said, I am pretty all in, or I want to be all in on the Josh Sweat thing, but you never know. If you take a look at the free agency pool this year, it doesn't look good in terms of like you have maybe 6, 7 top tier players that I would love the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go after, but everybody after that, there's not really a lot of good talented pieces out there, right? Obviously, a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans want to poach Josh Sweat, right? We want to poach potentially Zach Bond, which is now another potential piece we need because Kazir White might not return. You never know. Milton Williams being another guy out there as well for the Cardinals to potentially go after, right? But if you continue to look at the top 100 available potential free agents this year, there's not a lot of great ones. There's not a lot of good ones that are going to be, you know, pieces that are going to make that big jump for your defensive line, right? Now, like I said, there's about 6 to 7 good ones that I would really love the Cardinals to definitely go after, but you have to, you know, bid for their services with probably 31 other teams or 30 other teams, especially if they're leaving a team and they no longer want them back, right? So you got to bid the services for 30 other teams. So you're probably going to go to a sense where you might overpay for a guy because you want him on your organization and this other team wants him as well. So maybe Harold Landry will definitely be an opportunity for the Cardinals to bring him in and use a late or use a day 3 pick on him. And we got that edge rusher, right? Now, if we go after Harold Landry, I still want the Cardinals to go edge or interior defensive line in the first round. Heck, even go another D lineman in the second round. So one thing I like about Harold Landry, obviously 9 sacks, 18 hurries, absolutely amazing. The best pass rusher we had on this roster this year, and I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals roster, was Zaven Collins with 5 sacks. And Dante Stills, which I believe he was a 5th or 6th rounder 2 years ago, and he had 4.5 sacks. Like that was the most amount of sacks we had on a defensive line. That's not going to be good enough. You need a guy that's going to be able to wreak havoc on somebody else's defensive line. And Harold Landry might be that guy, right? Now, I'm not going to come out here and say it's Harold Landry or a bust. No, because free agency looks a little tempting out there. And there's a couple people that I really do like Josh Sweat or maybe even Milton Williams playing on the inside. So I don't think it's, Harold Landry or bust, but it's pretty intriguing. I ain't going to lie to you. When I look at the tape, when I look at the highlights, I see a guy here that has the intangibles to be a really, really good double-digit sacks, at least for the next 2 years, 2025 and 2026. That's all he signed up for. One thing that I really do like from him, looking at the tape, is when he starts off on the edge and then he basically, shoots off into the middle. Couple different plays that he's looked really, really good doing that, right? And he's really good at pursuit, man. Really good pursuit, really good at pass deflections as well. This is a guy that I feel like will absolutely upgrade the Arizona Cardinals defensive line if they were to do something like this. Now, day 3 pick is what I'm comfortable with, especially with that contract. If the Cardinals do a day 2 pick, obviously, I'll be fine at the end of the day, but day 3 pick is what I'm looking for if the Cardinals were to do something like this. So I love the idea of potentially bringing I love the idea of bringing him into the desert, right, into the Arizona Cardinals and making him the edge rusher number 1 for the Cardinals. We'll have to kind of wait and see how this all shakes out, but definitely very, very intriguing to see where he lands. And now he's got permission from the Tennessee Titans to seek a trade with his agent. So, Monty, maybe make the call. Maybe try to find out exactly what they're willing to take for us to get his services on our team for 2025 and 2026. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts overall on the NFLPA survey scores as well as the Harold Landry potential trading to another team? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.